And along this stretch, one of the more underrated things on the coast, I think personally, is Cape Perpetua. I've talked about this before. It's where Thor's Well is, which Thor's Well is super cool. It's worth the stop.
We can wander our way over, because this is Wandering Ways.
What's Bigfoot possibility? Clink.
Hey, it's that time again.
Are you too cool to clink nowadays?
I clinked. You were just too busy listening to yourself because,
No, you didn't clink.
I said clink.
Rewind it. Everyone rewind. Tell us.
I
didn't clink.
I said clink. Fuck. God damn it. You edit these things. I guess we'll find out, huh?
Yeah, you didn't clink.
I said clank, clack, clink, clack, clack, clink, clink, clack, clack.
Don't let him try and trick everybody into that. He did not.
They don't know. They know. The OGs will know. What's up, guys? How have you been? How are the wanderers? Let us know. Email us at wanderingwayspodcast@gmail.com. WANDERINGWAYSPODCAST@gmail.com. It's pretty easy. Slow that down. Rewind it. You got it. We love you guys. Shout out to all you wandering. We'd love to see some of your adventures. Send us some pics. Shoot, we'd love to see where you're at, what mountains you're climbing, what frontiers you're seeing,
Yeah, 100%. I don't know. I don't know about you. I know for me personally, I have not been able to get out much, which has been kind of a bummer. I haven't even been able to go out on like a bike ride in the outside or anything. I've been confined to work. And then we've had a bunch of wildfire smoke. So I've been confined indoors due to air quality as well.
So speaking of wildfires, I heard that there were 77 here in Montana.
Yeah, I actually just saw a map of like the West, and you guys are on fire.
Yeah.
You guys
It's
have
nuts.
a lot.
All winter long, I was saying it. I was like, we're not getting enough snow. We're not. Listen to the podcast. Go back a few episodes. I guarantee you'll hear me talking about it because, we talked with Andrew, we talked with Ray, some firefighting experts. They've had years of doing it. Fuck, they knew this year would be bad. It's crazy. It's real crazy. We just got to be smarter. And because a lot of these fires are human started. That's the sad thing.
Yeah, right.
Is when you really break it down to see like, well, this dummy decided to take his dirt bike up a road and he was fucking with, spark plugs and ignited a fire and he took his shoes off and ran.
Yeah, I haven't heard how a lot of the fires around here have gotten started. I've been just like
living it.
Yeah, because it's all smoke, man. I know there's some down in California just south of us. I know there's been some like kind of up closer to like Roseburg and Eugene. And so I just kind of sit here and go, man, I really hope it clears up so that way I can like go do something outside.
And you know what I actually really, really like about your schedule and how sometimes the May, June, April are really open for you.
Yeah.
What I really love about that is that to me is some of the fun times to be in the parks because you got the baby animals, you have the green grasses. Because like me and Jared were driving back from the Bighorn, we went fishing there this last weekend, and we were driving back and we were looking at all the brown and the fire smoke and like, holy crap. Because we saw some fires where like cars were pulled over on the side of the road and you could see where it started a fire, because something was happening to the car.
Yeah.
It's sad to see because you see like, fuck, it's crazy how fast it can just burn up real quick,
Oh yeah, it's nuts how that.
And yeah, no, it's crazy. But we were talking about how it's green when we go. It's green. It's beautiful. It's lush. the blue skies, sunny days, so I like that. We get to experience some fair weather for sure.
We do. I love it too. That typically the time we go, because the one thing is we've been inside because it's been winter for so long, and so it's been just cold. And it's not light as long either. So by the time spring comes around and I do have some more time, then I'm like itching to get out. And so that's when things really start to go. And then the weather just keeps getting better and better. So you get this like momentum ball that just builds up. You're like, oh, there's a weekend adventure. Turns into a long weekend adventure, then it's like, all right, no, let's keep this puppy going.
No, I feel it, man. That's like this summer for me. I've fished a lot, but like I was thinking about this really like deep thought. And if we had that music right now on the podcast, that deep thought. But going back, like all I've ever done my life is fish.
Yeah.
Little kid, go to the lake, fish, catch fish, do fish, go to the cabin, fish, do this, fish, right? This summer, I've been having so much success throwing everything I got. Even got my tackle box stolen this summer, which sucks. But that's on me. I left my garage open and I don't know if I showed you the ring video, but there's a video of the person walking into my garage, taking my shit and leaving. But yeah, it sucks. But I've gone back to the basics, buying some good lures, but just hammering fish, loving it, getting outside, getting hot. It's been 100 degrees, 90 degrees here, just like constantly. So just getting out on the water and fishing and loving it, dude, so much.
Yeah, that's a nice summer. Before I started working, I was outside all the time. I found this group, I play sand volleyball, so I'm outside in the evenings playing that like 2-3 times a week. I was biking and all that, but now with work, I got to put it on hold. Should have a couple of open weekends though. Hopefully, maybe you never know until you really know. But I'm hoping to maybe do at least something for like maybe a day.
I feel that, man. I feel that. We got some big things. Matt, buddy, man, he's we're gearing him up to come to Montana. I got to pay him to come here, though.
You got to pay most people to go to Montana. Right. Actually, that's not true. It's beautiful. You have to pay people to live in Montana.
Oh, Matt, buddy, he's a good guy. I'm excited. It's good stuff coming forward. Check the socials, honestly, guys. You kind of can keep up with us on the daily, which I like.
Yeah.
Because your daily grind's kind of lame right now. So if you want to see some cool shit, check me out for sure. Because I like to travel. I really like to force it, go just do stuff.
I got something cooking up. Don't worry.
You say that.
I do. And I have actually been putting work into it with a little bit of time that I have. So it is actually like brewing and fermenting and growing. The seeds, the roots are being made right now, and we will be sprouting soon.
I love it. I mean, I get it, man. You're hyping it up, all about it. But It's like Jared, my cousin. He loves fishing too, but he's a fair weatherman fisherman. He likes going when it's nice out, not when it's too hot, not when it's too cold, not when it's too windy. And it's like, I'm the type of guy, you just got to force yourself to get out there. You got to do it because if you want to be good at it, you want to be the best at it. That's how I feel we are. We're the best at doing what we do. And I love fishing. I love getting out on the water. I love water activities. I swam, and I'm just going to be the best at, boats. I don't know, whatever it may be, but whatever helps us find Bigfoot out on the water, and we'll do it.
Exactly.
We'll find them.
I kind of want to transition a little bit here into something I think people high up have been listening to our podcast, because we have been saying this for a while, and now it's actually happening. But Angel's Landing is looking to get a permit.
I know. which one of you works for the national parks, BLM, high up, and had this great idea of ours to permit
Yeah.
Angel's Landing? I mean, shoot.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, we have been saying, at least I have.
since we did it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, on the podcast too, we have been saying it since whenever we did like our top 5 parks, I think.
Whenever Angel's Landing came up the first time.
Yeah, whenever we talked about Angel's Landing the first time on this, we have been mentioning it. And now it's actually happening. They are putting in a permit lottery system very similar to Half Dome, which is one of the things we said.
So my question to you is, we know what the fuck we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
We're experts, are we not? That's the question.
I mean, yeah, I think we're logical is what it really comes down to. And I mean, we were there, we hiked it, and we saw what it could potentially blow up to. And then with COVID-19, it blew up to that because everyone wants to get outside, which is awesome. But because of that, it's a narrow way to hike that up, and it's sketch if you're crowded.
So 100%.
And you can go quite a ways without needing the permit.
I'm assuming it's from the like bathroom pit toilet break, huh?
Yeah,
or whatever's up on top.
I believe so. It's called like Boy Scout Landing or View or something like that. You can go all the way up to that point without needing a permit. So,
which makes sense because that's also a trailhead for another hike, I believe.
Yeah.
Walter's, but that's where you encounter Walter's Wiggles coming up to that. So you still get that kind of fun, and I know that's an accomplishment for a lot of people just to do Walter's Wiggles.
It is, and that's a good spot because that's when it starts to really, like on a crowded day, it starts to turn into those single file lines that you see up there so much.
That's just because how narrow it is, and it is a safety thing. I mean,
100%. It is so narrow. You have to let people go forward, and then you have to let some people come down, type of deal.
No, you're 100% right, because it sucked. It really did suck doing it because I saw impatientness come out on that hike.
Oh yeah.
And you have people just like, I'm gonna pass you because like you're being too slow for me. And it's like, it's not about being fast or slow. It's about being safe, because I don't want to die because you're doing something dumb. And that's how people die.
Yeah. That was the most frustrating like group of people when we did it, were the impatient ones. The guys, I distinctly remember, like, I believe like 3 separate times, like a group of people, like it'd be like 1, 2, maybe 3 would come, and they'd just zigzag their way through the people, and they'd go, and there'd be people coming down. Everyone's like waiting for this group to come, and they're like, nah, I'm going. And you're watching them, you're going like, no, that's not a good move. You're endangering yourself and the other person that's trying to come down the other way.
Well, and that was the thing, is what really sucked about those groups is it was like, you're almost like your guys that are living out of their car.
Yeah.
That like, we're doing all these parks, we're doing it, we're living out of our van or Jeep for all these days. And it was the, like, we're doing this stuff, and it, like, the respect isn't there. And I think that's the one thing when it comes to doing these things, going on these journeys, is the respect needs to be there. Because I look at this land, North America specifically, and I have these conversations with Matt all the time, but I truly believe and feel that the native peoples on this land were numerous. You have 500,000. This census is coming out, 9.7 million Native Americans in this country. And they are in their numbers in the reservational homelands at good numbers, I would say. And I would say there's 10 plus million just because of how many don't trust the government, don't fill out their census form.
Yeah, I also get that, but also how many people are just claiming Native American? Because it is the census and they're not like truly looking like
You're not wrong. That I mean, that number is less than 5%, kind of number. You know what I mean?
know, but like you can cancel out the ones that are like don't trust their government.
Yeah, so I mean 9.7 is pretty accurate. I give it the bump to 10 just because there probably really is close to 10 American Native, based on when you look at tribal enrollment numbers and stuff. But what I'm saying is, if you talk about the bison being in the numbers the bison were in, the tribes out here on the plains, the smallpox disease, everything that came west that wiped it out, those cultures were there. Those trade routes were there. So it's part of the respect, I think, because you would go to an Angel's Landing back then, and I'm sure there were people hiking it and doing it because of the area it was in. It was a spiritual, a lot of national parks are built where spiritual stuff for Native Americans are. And if you have that, you're going to have those pilgrimages. So you have people doing those pilgrimages, praying and seeing. So I could definitely see these beautiful points and these beautiful landmarks still doing, they do to this day. I mean, that's why you do going to the Sun Road, you can hike it. It was a trail through the park. And it's just something to it. And I think that's the disrespect you see is that running up and down. And what's sad is that contributes to the permit process. So those same people are probably pissed off. Now I got to get a permit, but it's because of how those things are handled. If it was, no, this group comes down, our group goes up. This group comes down, our group goes up. Like it should be the zipper effect, the most effective thing. It'd work.
Yeah, right. I mean, we mentioned it like a couple episodes ago when we talked about the permit system, when we kind of debated it, how, yeah, it is a bummer. It's a bummer for those spur of the moment things, but it comes down to safety and a respect for that area is more important than you wanting to go last minute and check something out.
And what kind of sucks about it, and we're contributors to this because we do share our Instagrams. We love that. We love the follows. Is that drives it. But I think it drives it sometimes in an ugly way, because it attracts the wrong people.
Right.
They're just going to the location and taking a picture versus going to the location to experience it. Because I think, like, for me, that's what, like, it's gotten me into trouble with you. And I'm gonna cite Hawaii because I just trust you thinking like that. Yeah, this trail will be a good trail, doable, fine. Not going to do the research, right?
Yeah.
Because I want to experience it for what it, the majesty that it is. Like, I don't know what's at the end of it. So I'm going to just, okay, it says it goes to the mountain peak. Well, we'll see when we get there. And it's like, holy shit, when you get there. Same with Pyramid Lake, just kind of just randomly doing it. I should have been more prepared. I mean, that's the research I should have done, was the preparedness for this hike, which I didn't. But there's just something to it. There's just something to that awe and that majesty.
Oh yeah, 100%. There is that, like, that spur of the moment where you're like, I'm told something's at the end. I don't know what's in between or anything really else other than that.
Like the Blue Pool was that way.
Yeah, 100. It's funny because, like, how you like destroyed on a hike where it was very little research. You're like, this is where we're going, this is what we're supposed to see type deal. Like, you're not the only person to have gone on a hike with me and they're just
Oh, I know.
kind of going with you, Mark. Let's just go. And then at the end, they're just like, that was the worst experience I've ever had, Mark. I had a friend down in Humboldt. She still reminds me to this day when I told her it was 12-mile hike, and she goes, yeah, 12 miles one way. So
Yeah, no, and you did that one where we the first time we did the blue pool
yeah,
was like that.
yeah, that was another one where it was like,
Oh.
I don't, well, I have no idea where the trailhead for it was. And
Fuck, we almost started the 45-mile one-way trail. This is good. I don't think this is it, Mark.
yeah. So
I mean, but that was part of it. It was just getting out and experiencing it. And what I liked is the very little research, that was out on the blue pool at that time when we first started, adventuring together. And I like having that going, and I like sharing that with people. I like taking pictures and sharing pictures. But it's one of those things that Angel's Landing, fucking, there's your proof. Horseshoe Bend, there's your proof.
yep.
Grand Canyon, even for that matter. The more shit that comes out about the Grand Canyon, the more popular it becomes. Same with Yellowstone. I've seen Yellowstone construction grow that park firsthand, and I'm only 26 years old.
Yeah, it's interesting because and I don't meet a lot of like influencers, Instagram influencers, social media influencers. I don't talk to a lot of them. But the few that I do, the one question I always like bring up is like, do you feel that there should be a balance in like going to these places? Because a lot of people just go to get that picture, especially influencers. And so when you see that as a layman's person, you're like, let's just go and get the picture. So I think it becomes an interesting dance for the influencers, and I always try and ask them about how they manage it, if they care about it or if they don't.
No, yeah, no, I think that's a fair question to ask, because I agree with you, because it's like I look at pictures from Glacier National Park, and don't get me wrong, the views from Lake McDonald are spectacular, but I've seen it a million times.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll keep looking at it because I like Glacier, but
Yeah, right.
But it's like, I like the ones where it's like, well, where in Glacier is that? And I think that's the thing that I like about some of the stuff we do with the places we go, is we force ourselves to get into the backcountry, to find those things that, the Instagrammers aren't finding you. Going the extra mile. I love it.
Yeah, I like it because there's no people. That's what I like about it. I don't like being around people on these hikes.
That's why you got to get a big boat and get away from people. Go hike up a waterfall or something.
Yeah, everybody's got a boat nowadays, though, too.
That's true. Really, with those kayaks, man. COVID kayaks.
Yeah. Thank you, Wanderers, for checking us out. Make sure that you are hitting that like button, that subscribe button, leaving us a review on the iTunes, on the Spotify's, or wherever that you are checking out this podcast today. We really appreciate it. Any kind of feedback, we love it. Make sure to check out the YouTube so you can see our beautiful faces instead of just listening to those beautiful voices. But hit the like and subscribe button there, too, to see all of the fun Wandering Ways stuff.
Yeah, on the YouTube too. Make sure to check out those videos like Mark's amazing 30-day road trip where he lived out of the back of a Jeep. And if you want to commemorate it, go ahead and pick yourself up that Wandering Ways swag. In the Linktree bio, click the swag button. If you're just on YouTube or Google or some sort of thing, go teespring.com/wanderingways. You'll find us. You'll find socks. You'll find shirts. You'll find whatever you want to put our logo on, and you can have it for sure.
And maybe you only like one of the Wandering Ways team members here, and you want to check out maybe just me personally, because Obviously, I might be the better one. Check me out, Reverend Marcus, on the Instagram, on the Twitter. I got some fun stuff there.
Hey, and you might be into Jeeps. You could check out my Jeep, the Rougarou. You might be into adventures. Check out Zach of Wandering Ways. Who knows? You can find it all with us at Wandering Ways, the nature podcast.
Yeah, let's keep wandering on. It really is. Anyways, I think it is time to do our favorite segment, everybody's favorite segment, cool shit in nature.
You know, I think it's just your favorite segment at this point. No, I'm kidding. Everyone wants
I have
it.
a different lane today. It's one we have been across before, but you guys give me so much shit about animal attacks that today I'm going out of my way right now to not do animal attacks.
Got plenty of that. No, I mean, they're interesting because it's like survival of the fittest. Only the fittest shall survive.
Yeah, but I got a couple today, actually. One of them, speaking of kayaks, kayaking in Norway.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, I remember when I got this because I thought of you and I was like, this is where we gotta go to Norway and do some kayaking or something there.
Dude, I'm on board. I'm down for a nice Nordic adventure for sure.
Oh, right, me too.
The problem is your schedule.
Yeah, right. I know.
Speaking of, did you get the invite to New Orleans?
I have to check. I don't know.
Well, Mardi Gras. No, gotta experience the culture. Always go to where the culture is.
True. But no,
Oh.
So that was kayaking through some lakes in Norway. This one's staying with the satisfying kind of lane here. Just a nice little time lapse kind of
The Grand Tetons.
Yeah, the Grand Tetons. Because I mean, who doesn't love Grand Tetons?
And what really, like, the other day I was driving when I was driving back from Bozeman, and I was like, man, I could just like hang a right there and get down to like the Grand Tetons and go kayaking on the Grand Tetons. And I didn't, because I came home and I was like, well, I'll go rafting to Bighorn instead, which was a blast. But damn, dude, now you tease me with a kayak video and then you tease me with a Teton video, and you're like, fuck, I should have done it. Because that would have been this weekend. Because next weekend I'm going down to the Redwoods, your neck of the wood kind of thing. And the weekend after that, I'll be in Sealy. And then it's like September, and it's like, do I go down there in September? Probably. Might as well, huh?
Down to the Tetons?
Yeah, and kayak.
Oh, yeah, that'd be pretty because it'll be fall.
Yeah, maybe see a bear or 9.
Yeah, you never know. There's always a solid chance. I'm jealous you're going to be in the Redwoods. I always love the Redwoods. I talk about the Redwoods probably too much in my everyday life. I bring them up.
Well, I think they're underrated in a sense because they are magnificent, one, but because I think that most people that experience the Redwood groves out of like San Francisco that are close to that area. And I don't think they hold the same majesty and woe as the Redwoods in the Northern California area, because I think you get just like immense numbers.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's part of the reason why people don't get too excited about the Redwoods. The other is, I get this all the time when I'm explaining Hyperion in like specifically. People are always like, Mark, it's just a tree, man. It's nothing. It's just a tree. So they are trees. Yes, you're right. But you have to experience, and then you'll get it.
And that's what, like, I'm exactly with you there, because Thea's coming for the first time. And I was talking to my mom on the phone. I was like, have you ever seen them? And she's like, no. I said, okay. But I was like, you're my mom. You'll just be like, okay, cool, whatever. Like your excitement's different. on this trip. It's more about like everyone being there.
Yeah.
And what's funny is she doesn't listen to the podcast. So there's that one. But like my dad doesn't really get excited about much. Josh doesn't really get excited about much. But Thea, no, all three of them, right? I'm like, because Thea's like, it's just trees. She's doing that argument with me. Like, it's just trees. And I know those two kind of think that way. But I know when they see it, they're like, holy piss. Like,
yeah, it's different when you're in them, you know, because
it really is.
When you get into a grove and you're immersed into it, you know, and it's somewhat quiet, it's something else.
It's eerie.
Yeah, it is. Oh, it's such a beautiful magic.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I don't think they get it. I don't think they quite get it, and I'm really excited for that. And do you know what I also really like about where we're headed with this?
What?
We're headed north. We're headed north from the Redwoods today because we got something special if you read the title.
Yeah, no, we are getting to that point. We are getting to that point where it's another one of our beautiful Wandering Ways breakdowns of the Oregon coast.
Or if you pronounce it wrong, the Oregon coast.
Yeah, you pronounce it like that and I'll shoot you in your Achilles. Not shoot you to kill. No, I want you to suffer.
Ooh.
But no, we are doing the Oregon coast. And if you haven't caught on from listening to the other episodes, I am a coastie. I am a Oregon coast, born and raised, spent 18 years of my life living there. This is the farthest I've ever lived from the ocean. So farthest I've ever lived from the Oregon coast too. Even when I was in California, it was a quicker stop to the Oregon coast than it is for me right now.
That's funny.
But yeah, so I thought the way we would break it down is how a lot of people like to do the actual trip of the Oregon coast, whether you are just driving it, whether you are or biking it, RVing it, any way that you choose to do it. It's really popular to bike packing. So you just hook up your tent stuff and and you bike down the whole Oregon coast. But it's people start north and head south.
Yeah, and we've seen some really cool shit together as well. I'm sure living on the coast, you've seen some gnarly stuff, you know, dude, washing up on shore.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for sure. You know, and if you were to do this trip and you started north in Astoria, it's famous because it's like the end. Astoria is the oldest city in Oregon. Used to be a trading post, so it's got that kind of bit to it. But it is also the end of Lewis and Clark, which we have talked about many times. And so if you are into that part of the history, the Lewis and Clark history, I actually would recommend hopping over the Columbia River into the Washington side to check out Cape Disappointment for that little bit of Lewis and Clark history, because it is called Cape Disappointment because everyone was filled with disappointment when they saw it. And then, of course, stopping at Fort Clatsop there it's a national park, so you can scratch off another national park. It's not very big, but it's cool to see the fort, see the history. They got a trail from the fort to the ocean. Highly recommend it. It's pretty easy for most people to do that one. It is a longer-ish hike, not like crazy long, but long enough.
I need to do that. I went to that fort when I was littler, and you know, it's one of those things that it's good to go back and really check it out, get a good feel for it, because I don't know, there's just something about the Lewis and Clark journey that's always been attached to me, living in Montana and even working at Pompey's Pillar, you know, getting attached to it that way. But I love it, love the journey, love the adventure, so it's definitely one to check out for sure. Matt Buddy recommended it.
Yeah, even Matt did. Yeah, and I mean that honestly, there's a lot to do that side in Astoria seaside kind of area, because even in there there's Fort Stevens, which is a state park, and it's actually an old World War II base. um I think they even said there was technically like a shot fired, like the one of the only, if maybe the only spot like mainland US got attacked quotes, was there in Fort Stevens.
How?
I can't remember the story because I'm not, it was like they found a shell or something. It was like the most lame attack ever when you hear the story. So it's like, were we really attacked type of deal?
So no.
Yeah, but I think because of the way it is, you can technically call it. That's what I think it more is.
Fuck
But
technically.
anyways, that area in general, Fort Clatsop, there's a Pier Iredale, which is an old ship that washed up on the beach there. You can go out, walk to it. Super cool to go to. You can literally drive to the parking lot. It's like right there. Um, Camping's fantastic out there. I think like the largest KOA is actually out that way.
Nice.
Yeah. The jetty, if you're into mushrooming, big mushrooming area in the fall. But yeah, that, I mean, that's Fort Clatsop, that Astoria area. You really can't go wrong. You can drive on the beach, actually on the beach in that area for a long ways. We used to do it all the time growing up, as kids, and even in our teenage years and stuff. We were out there doing shenanigans all the time. So I mean, you can drive on the beach. So that's a blast. So that's for that part of the Oregon coast, and you kind of head south. Um,
Yeah. I'd say Tillamook's probably next stop on that journey, huh? Really?
yeah, it's kind of the big one. You'll go through some towns, some smaller towns like a Manzanita, or a Garibaldi before. If you're into seafood, that's a pretty good spot to like buy some fresh seafood to cook yourself. That it would be in that area. Even in Tillamook, you really can't go wrong with getting, actually, to be fair, really anywhere on the coast, you're gonna be able to find, like, Astoria's got a bunch, Newport's got a bunch, Brookings got a bunch, Florence got a bunch, Yachats, you can get some, like, really anywhere. Waldport, name a spot on the coast, you could probably. But Garibaldi, kind of there, it actually does have some pretty sweet. I've seen that area actually filmed on like travel shows
Oh,
for seafood. So um, that's why I would maybe recommend getting some seafood to cook up yourself in that area. But
nice. Oh, that's a good idea because I know a lot of people do that on trips. They're like,
yeah.
oh, this is fresh, get it fresh here. Yeah, no, I like that.
Mhm.
But I think, yeah, a lot of people probably stop there at Tillamook. There's a cedar tree, 1,000-year-old cedar tree just north of Tillamook there. That's really cool. I got to stop at.
Yeah.
Um,
It can't go wrong with going to the cheese factory, Tillamook Cheese
no,
Factory.
and then they have the smoked meats outlet right behind it.
Yeah,
Get your
really, it's a
turkey
nice
sticks.
little stop, nice little lunch stop.
And it's a cool cheese factory. I mean, they got ice cream, they got the whole gambit, lunch even. I think we had lunch there. I mean,
Oh yeah, it's a good little
nice.
spot. Tillamook's got a lot. It doesn't have the best hiking if that's what you're looking for. So it's kind of one to make your midday travel stop, as you're going from like a point to a point.
Well, I think that next point would probably be Lincoln City, huh?
For the like nature-esque part of things, 100% Lincoln City, because you got like Devil's Punch Bowl. There's some cool waterfalls in that area too. That's when you start to get some more camping and stuff is going to be in like Lincoln City area.
You can drive on the beach there.
Yeah, you can it, but it like
It's small.
it's not like driving on the beach like up in Astoria where it's like you pretty much just drive on the beach and you're in a little spot right there. Whereas like up Astoria, Warrenton Seaside, like you can actually like literally from the little town of Gearhart. You can drive all the way up, I believe, to the pier to Iredale,
Oh, wow.
which is a good it's a good probably 15 miles.
Oh, cool. That'd
Yeah.
be fun to do in the Jeep.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've seen car commercials where they have you'll see, and I'm like, I know that beach. But yeah, so then that Lincoln City, you know, um, anywhere on the coast, you're also going to find Moe's, which is the clam chowder spot. I recommend it if you're not a chowder snob, because it's solid chowder. And honestly, when you're on the Oregon coast, I feel like you have to get chowder.
Fuck, dude, it's the weather.
Yeah, it is. It probably is. But I mean, I feel like you have to get chowder when you're on the coast. That's what I do. It's my homesick meal. I go to the coast, put my feet in the sand, and get some chowder.
And then just listen to
The
seagulls
seagulls.
all day. Yep.
Love me some seagulls. No, actually, I hate seagulls. We used to feed them Alka-Seltzer.
Oh God.
Yeah.
He's opening up a chapter of a book today, huh?
Oh yeah. No, I mean, we were pretty messed up as kids.
You had to learn one way or another, huh?
Yeah, right. Well, there's so many seagulls, and half the time they just eat McDonald's.
They're an invasive species. Let's be real.
I don't think they're invasive, but they sure sometimes feel like it.
They own the world.
I don't know about that. But anyways, Lincoln City, that's another solid spot. Devil's Punch Bowl. You can get on the beach there. There are some cool waterfalls and stuff to go.
Well, it's really good beaches. What's really nice about the Oregon coast is a lot of the beaches are state parks, because not 90% of, I think, the United States beaches are in Oregon, the public beaches.
Oh yeah, I think
it's a high number.
Yeah, it is all public.
It's the whole coast is public, which is awesome. You can use it. So the whole road, you have campsites, pullouts, beaches, beautiful beaches too. There's some that you can find, different colored sand, different, has more of a black sand, all that kind of cool shit.
I forgot to totally mention a little bit farther north was Cannon Beach, Haystack Rock. Everybody knows about Haystack Rock. That's another cool little town. My favorite coffee stop is in Cannon Beach. It is by far the best coffee I've ever had.
Yeah.
Sleepy Monk Coffee. So if you're in Cannon Beach, make sure to check out Sleepy Monk Coffee, unless I'm there also, because you're going to make the line really long and I just want to get my coffee.
I like that.
But anyways, keeping on down past Lincoln City is Newport, which is kind of like the big city that people say on the coast. It really isn't that big. I don't think it's much bigger than Astoria.
It's got some hotel chains, you got your Holiday Inn Express kind of stuff there.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a good way of putting it, I think, because and it's a nice harbor. They got one of the nice harbors. They got the aquarium there.
That's why it's big, is because they have the aquarium, and then NOAA, the National Oceanic something is in Newport. So that's why it is big. Is because of those. Yeah.
Coast Guard is there too. You have big Coast Guard Center, the big ships parked there.
I mean, we got Coast Guard in Astoria too.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah, Coast Guard. Find a body of water, you'll find Coast Guard.
And then the Oregon State Hatfield Marine Center is there. That's a free museum to check out and show what Oregon State's doing.
Yeah, actually, that's huge for stuff for Oregon State's all out in Newport. Because, I mean, it's only an hour and a half from Corvallis.
Yeah, and you have Yaquina Bay Head, the lighthouse.
Yeah. So Newport's a great stop. That's where the original Moe's is. So maybe go check out the OG Moe's. It's in the old historic downtown, which is kind of in the bay, the harbor there itself. which is a cool stop. You can go see some sea lions. Um, then head over to the aquarium. We used to go to the aquarium and when they had keiko, which was an orca whale. If anyone, I probably seriously dated myself in age by mentioning name dropping keiko. Or if you've seen the movie Free Willy, again, an old age name drop, but the whale in Free Willy, that was keiko. And that was filmed in Astoria. So that's a little Oregon bit there for you.
I knew that.
Yeah, but that's Newport. It's a good spot to go and check out. And then as you keep heading south from Newport, you'll hit Waldport, like Yachats, and then you'll get to like Florence. And along this stretch, one of the more underrated things on the coast, I think personally, is Cape Perpetua. I've talked about this before. It's where Thor's Well is, which Thor's Well is super cool. It's worth the stop. I actually would maybe, if you're doing the Oregon coast, I would almost call it a must stop because it is that cool of a stop. And it's not a long, or you can make it longer. You can make a little hike out of it. There's camping right there by it. So it's really, and there's other stuff other than just Thor's Well. There's like Devil's Churn. It's essentially a lot of rock just in this one spot. So it's super, super cool to go and check out in that spot, in that area. Cape Perpetua. I've only ever really done it, I think, twice. Both times, fantastic. I would do it again and again and again if I'm there.
Yeah, I haven't spent much time actually from Newport to Florence is the only part of the Oregon coast I haven't done, just based on how I was going inland. But from what I know is there's good dunes down there too. You could take your 4x4s and go duning down on the beach, which people are into.
Yeah,
which
that's
is fun.
huge actually in Florence, the Oregon dunes. Yeah, that's actually like a big thing out there.
Yeah, which is cool. I mean, I saw a lot of jacked up Jeeps and trucks and stuff when I was down in that area, when I cut through Florence. But yeah, I mean, that whole coast, there's so much to do, so much stuff. All those little towns have little shops, they're designed for tourists for sure. So go in and check them out. Take a fishing charter in one of the towns. Depot Bay, Oregon has really good fishing charters.
Yep. Depending on the time of year, you might be able to see some whales off the coast. There's a bunch of pullouts. Neoconi, which is a little bit farther north, there's a pullout. I actually know when the whales are coming through, they will post people out at these stops that are like, will tell you if there's a whale there or like help spot and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool when you run into them. They're like, yeah, there's a whale over here.
Well, what you need to do is run into one and get them on the podcast to talk about what they do with the whales.
Oh yeah, that'd be kind of cool. That'd be we get someone on talk whales. I'd love to talk whales.
Well, get them on.
Yeah, I'll have to just drive up the coast when the whales are coming through.
Honestly, though.
Oh yeah, actually, I think it's about this time of year.
Yeah, it's about when the crow flies out the moonlight garden through the rosebush fence.
Yeah, well, I mean, we had a couple years you'd see whales in the river.
That's what you were saying, yeah.
Which was nuts to see them like in the river there in Astoria. Astoria is like in away from the coast more. It's like in this little, like the river there, and then you see it right there from the Astor like bridge. You're like, I don't think you're supposed to be this far up, buddy.
Yeah, like what do you do in that case? Do you just kind of let them be?
Oh yeah, they do. I mean, he finds his way out. He knew the theory is that that's where the food was.
Oh, just following the food.
Yeah, that's the theory. I mean, I don't really know.
Whales are cool. They got something going on.
Oh, whales are super cool.
They scheming. They really are
They're
scheming.
scheming. But yeah, then when you get farther past Florence, you're gonna get into like a Coos Bay, a North Bend. You're gonna get to Bandon, which is famous for golf. If you are a golfer, Bandon Dunes, you cannot go wrong there. But Bandon areas in Coos Bay, North Bend, there's some cool stuff out there. Again, it's a little Coos Bay is a little bit more in like a bay there. That's why it's Coos Bay.
And they're pretty big shipping and logging, I've noticed when I was down there, which is it's kind of cool. It's an old town, how it's built designed around the trade for sure.
Oh, for sure. It's
Yeah.
real big into that. Yeah, logging's real big in that.
Just the way the yards and the shipping yards and logging yards are set up in that town and the way the train runs through, it's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I mean, from there you get to Brookings. You know, you'll get to Brookings. Brookings, another fantastic coast town. Of Southern Oregon, that's probably the coast town. Everyone says when they're going to the coast, it seems to be Brookings is the place that they go to when they go to the coast down here. And then since you're down there and Brookings is so close, just hop down to Crescent City in California and check out the Redwoods because you're there.
Well, and what's nice about Crescent City is it's a nice taste of it. Still feels like Oregon,
Yeah,
but it gives you a taste of California too at the same time.
yeah. Crescent City has that Oregon coast vibe, very strong, actually.
But then when you get out to the beaches, you get the Cali beaches vibe. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, it's a cool little town. Gold Beach is also really cool down there in
Yeah, Gold Beach is fantastic.
Southern Oregon. There's a little hike out. There was a battle that was fought there with the native tribes. Matt always points out when we go through there, and you can walk out onto the rock. There's really cool rock, and there's tons of rock formations off the coast that you can hike and do. Me, you, and Tyler did it on our big trip out there. It's just fun. It's a beautiful coast. It's relaxing. I say best time of year to do it is July, August, just because it's beautiful. It's the best weather window you're going to have.
It is.
The blackberries are getting ripe and they're wild. So
Yeah, if you can go July, August, or September, those are the best months to do it. And also what's nice about the coast is because it will be hot as hell everywhere else, but the coast will be nice. It won't be hot at all. You'll probably even a lot of people will say it's too cold to be there in that time of year because you want it to be hot, and the coast isn't really like that. You'll have hot days for sure, but they aren't strung together very often.
well, isn't it? Didn't you say you sell more sweatshirts in the summer than you do the winter over there?
Oh yeah. That, and you can always tell someone is not from Seaside because they're wearing Seaside, Oregon clothing.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Because no one from Seaside wears Seaside gear.
yeah. Because you get the lifeguard one.
Yeah, there's the lifeguard, or there's just like this generic Seaside, Oregon. They make sweatpants. I see the sweatpants all the time that just say Seaside, Oregon running down it.
They sell, man.
They do, because what happens is you get coming from Portland where it was hot. You're like, the beach, it's going to be nice. I'm going to wear a nice tank top. I'm going to wear short shorts or shorts. I'm going to go out on the beach. You're having a good time. And then about 6 p.m., the temp starts to really drop. And you're like, and the wind picks up. You're like, dang, this shit is cold. And I didn't bring a jacket.
Exactly.
But yeah. And then if you're looking for like events and stuff, the Oregon coast has all the time. My favorite weekend is in August. Actually, it might be this weekend, or it was last weekend. As we're filming or recording this in August. But it's the sand volleyball tournament. That's always a big one. Hood to Coast. That's always a fun big weekend. They have sand soccer tournaments. I mean, they got all sorts of stuff. You can really make your trip on the Oregon coast a lot of fun. You can see a lot, you can do a lot, whether it's super nature oriented or not super oriented at all. I think you can really enjoy your time on the Oregon coast. And that's someone who's lived their life there.
No, that's good. I mean, Oregon, I know Montana, and those are two pretty crazy states to know the backcountry to and the ins and the outs of. So I really like that. It just adds to the flair, it helps us wander everywhere. We go down to the southwest, down up to the northeast, down to the southeast. We got it, man. We like to travel, wander, check it out, and live with it.
It does, 100%. But we are going to wander on into our final words, because I'm going to be the guy that cuts us off and brings us to our final words today, because we are getting to our time. But anyways, so final words, my guy.
I think we got to stick to some of the old words we always talk about, but it's just get out and go, find your adventure, go find your place, what you want to do. This last week I went fishing and I got the opportunity to go fishing again the next day. And I was like, sure, like 6 more hours out in the sun. Why not? It's hot, but prepare yourself, be prepared when you do it, be smart about it. That's what I was. I had a great time out on the lake, and just force yourself to get out. Sometimes you're like, it'd be nice just to lay here in this AC, but at the end of the day, you're passed out and your dreams are good dreams because you had a crazy good day, so just got to keep it going.
Facts.
That's it, man. That's
Facts. I love it. Anyways, Reverend's final words of wisdom. Stay beautiful, everybody. Can't tell you how much I appreciate every single one of our wanderers listening. Thank you all for listening so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I've been on a lot of people lately about this, so I'm going to keep it up. Get your sleep, everybody. Get your sleep. I don't care who you are. You got to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. It's super important. It will help you out. And there is no such thing as you can sleep when you're dead. That's crazy talk. And don't sit here and tell me, Mark, I can survive off 5 hours of sleep. No, you can't. There's a 0.7% of the population of the world can do that. You're not that person. So make sure you're getting your sleep. If you get your full hours of sleep, you'll feel so much better. You'll be more productive. You'll be healthier, and everything in your life will be better. Sleep is key. If you don't snooze, you lose.
I'm that person.
No, you're not that person. You're not that person. You are not that person. That being said, peace out, everybody.
Bye.